Now that we have a video of a first run, let's do a variation and see what different types of transfers that we can do. First I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Move File, and I'm going to click the Maintain Directory structure, and we'll talk about that in a second. The main focus of this is to just show the difference between a move and a copy. So before, in our first run, we did all copies. And this one, what we're going to do is we're going to move this bought folder, which is in the folders to get, as you can see. And we're going to put it in put 3, which is right here. And so since we're moving it, it's going to take everything and put it over here in the new folder. But what you're going to notice here is that, well, one of two things. It took those and moved them. There's no copies, so now they no longer exist on the original. The other thing that you probably notice is that we leave these folders up. And that is in case of accidental deletions. So you will have some extra folders from where you put it. Now let me put these back into the original folders, and now I'll tackle that second button, which is maintain the directory structure. So if I go to put 3 and hit delete, now I have basically the original folder in both here and the folders to get. When I do that maintain directory structure, it puts the folders in as they were over here. But in this case, what we want to do, and actually I'll do a copy here instead of a move, just so you kind of get a better idea, is that when I run this, it's going to take all those and put them into one folder, and that folder will be the put 3 folder. So if you're just trying to gather specific files or sift through different files and put them into one folder, that's where I'd suggest it. I did copy so I could be a little lazy and not have to copy all this stuff back. Okay, now let me delete these. So now we got back to the put folder, and since I did a copy, we have the originals in the folders to get folder, so nothing has changed. All right, now let's see what else we can do with this. We can do, why don't we turn that one back on? I tend to do that by default. Case sensitivity. Okay, now case sensitivity just means the difference between capital letters and lowercase letters. Now that doesn't deal with the files, unfortunately. We thought about doing that for FileSnatch, but Windows itself is case sensitive. To take the case sensitivity out of it, we were realizing that people were going to have problems with this. Case sensitivity just refers, in this case, as these two boxes. So in other words, before we looked for .wav files, however, with case sensitivity, it has to match exactly that .wav format. So in other words, if I did .wav, even with the one large W there and the one small w over here in the folders to get folder, it will not transfer these. So if we go in there, both folders are empty. It did create the folder structure because we told it to, but it will not copy the files unless there happens to be a .wav in there. So let's give that a try. Change. Change this and maybe just put a big W in there. So now only long away should be copied. And so there it is. And again, this is only for the inclusion and exclusion boxes. This is not for the naturally case-sensitive Microsoft operating system or whatever you're working with. Okay, let's go to this. So let's say we do make this case-sensitive again, but we don't want all these extra folders. So actually, let's go ahead and delete all these. With FileSnatch, what we decided to do is we wanted to keep the original folder system and not delete it, but have people be able to control what they're going into. And so we do let them delete those folders. It will not touch where they're coming from. So in other words, the folders to get folder. Now let's give that a run. And as you can see, it did create this folder, and the reason why is because it has that dependent a day at the race folders, which actually has a dot big W wave in it. But because there is no big W waves in a kind of magic, it just deleted that folder, because that would have been just the empty folder. If you have 15 empty folders, it should delete all of them. Let's go to our last box, which is just the activate progress bar. If you've noticed on our runs, when they do it, we're just getting this solid line. Now, if we are to do this again, and let's go ahead and let's take off case sensitivity, because the longest runs are copies, keeping the directory structure. And removing the folders at the end will make it a longer run. And oddly enough, having that progress bar also has a longer run. So some people don't like the progress bar because it can add a certain percentage to their run that they don't want to wait around for. So we created this checkbox in one of our updates in order to speed things up. So let's go ahead and delete all that stuff, and we'll keep it as long as possible, and really all that does is you'll see the bar go from left to right. I know that in one of the first videos of the series we say to look for these 5 buttons. The check mark boxes and the radio buttons on the left, and even the text boxes here, they were all made to affect the run itself. What type of run you want, what type of transfer that you wanted to do to these files. So we'll probably take this out and put it into the 3 dots, but we wanted to put it in the main GUI so that people knew it was there at first. Please look for it in both places. We are always looking to improve FileSnatch, so if you can think of something else that you'd like it to sort the material or transfer it in a specific fashion, please tell us about it by clicking on this button and going to feedback. All right, we'll hopefully see you on the next video.